Hello and welcome to Client Talk with Ella. Today we are going to be going through proposals and the existing site conditions of the material library at Nancy Cantor Warehouse. Currently, only the EDI students mainly use it. Starting with the cover page, we have Warehouse Wonders, a student's playground, material playground. So, for the existing conditions, there was a lot to be addressed. So for one of the issues, a lot of students didn't feel welcomed, or they didn't know that the material library was something that they could use. I know that when I first transferred in, no one told me about the material library, so I assumed that it was not for me and I couldn't go in there. So that's one problem that I noticed with the existing conditions. Another issue is lighting. There is absolutely no natural light in there. The only opening is the one door, so it tends to be very dark in there sometimes. You can see in this corner, maybe I shouldn't touch it. Oh, sorry. I don't know how to edit these videos too. Anyway, as you can see, it gets really dark in some of these corners. And then lastly, the biggest issue, I think this is going to be an issue continuously over every single material library, but there is going to need more storage. There's never going to be enough storage. There's a lot of places where a lot of little bits and shits and gigs gets stacked or into little piles, and it doesn't have a place, so it ends up feeling really random, I guess. And we also have a lot of donations, like the material bank left us a lot of boxes, and I don't think they have places or storage or room for it. So those are the three main issues. And then another one that I kind of wanted to focus on but wasn't really an issue with the existing site is having spaces or little things dedicated to students, like having a couch or sit down area. In this entire material library, there's not one chair. Standing and working is great, but it would be a little bit more inviting. It would be a little lively. It'd just be nicer to have somewhere for students to sit in this space. Another issue, not an issue, but something that was proposed was a little photo shoot area to take professional photos of the work that's being produced. This doesn't even have to be for the material library, material boards that are being produced, but if you have a poster, if you have a model, somewhere that students can have a camera, some lighting, a light backdrop, a table, somewhere where they can work and take photos of their work. So that's all of the existing site conditions issues, things that I noticed. And then on to the proposal renders. I'm just gonna prop this up right here for ya. So in the first renders, I just addressed the first problems, which is the students just not feeling welcomed, or they just didn't know if the space was for them. So in this proposal render, as you can see the little images, one of the walls is completely taken out, and two of the other walls are made into glass. The reason for this is there's no way not to feel welcomed. In this design, it feels very, very inviting. Even guests, people, or transfers that don't know what it is, know. It looks like the design makes you know that you're invited. You can go into that place. So that was the number one thing that I wanted to address. And then the second one is obviously storage. It's the second biggest issue with there. So we have a lot more shelving, or yeah. And then also just everywhere, every piece of furniture that could have been used for storage is also storage. This couch is an ottoman couch that you can pull up, and there's a bunch of space in there. The seats are also ottomans that you can take the top off that are also storage. These little partition walls are actually shelves that have a bunch of more storage. Every single thing in the materials library should be dedicated to storage, but also in creating a nice space. So then the last kind of like, not issue, just thing I wanted to address because I could, was making, oops, my computer about to die. Making spaces dedicated for the students. Again, like having a little sit-down area where there is shelving or storage for these walls, but it's also creating a little nook for someone to hang out, someone to just chill, sit, whatever. It makes it more lively, exciting. Yeah. Sorry. And then the last one was the photo shoot area. Can I zoom? Yes, I can. So in this render, you can see the guy is making a little material board, and he's taking a photo of it. So there's like a little workstation. So you can sit, work, photos, all of that stuff. And then the other last thing I kind of wanted to address is by putting in glass walls, there is going to be a lack of privacy. I don't think a materials library needs privacy necessarily, but like it obviously is nice, especially if it's like just an extra room to do a meeting in or just anything like that. So I did want to talk about this a little bit and say during the day or some points during the day or like when it's getting closer to night, it's very see-through and there's not that much privacy. But throughout the day, this is the same view, but just a different time. Like in this area, the reflections really the reflections are a lot. Oh, what am I trying to say? The reflections give privacy because you can't see through, but it's still like welcoming and open. So yeah. And then, these are the existing site conditions as well. Why can't I scroll? Hello. I don't know if I need to talk about that. And then the research conducted, it was more like personal research. Like I didn't type or search too much online, but I did do a lot of interviews with all of the students throughout all of the different grades, and then also faculty. And I did a bunch of different questions asking what they thought that could be improved. What did they like about it? What did they not like about it? Do they feel comfortable in it? Do they want something out of it? I don't know. I just wanted to get like a general feel of how people felt about it because I have opinions on it. And not even opinions, I just didn't really know that I didn't know I could go in there. So I wanted to see if other people felt like that too. And what else did I do? Research. Sorry, I'm blanking right now. Interviews, and then I also sat and observed because I wanted to know like what types of students were going in there. Like, is it mainly faculty and like 2 students, or is it like a pretty good amount of students use it? I don't think a lot of people use it, but they do. I just wanted to see kind of like what was going on, and it was very, very not boring, but slow. Not a lot of action is happening in there. So that's also something I just overall wanted to address. But that was part of my research. So doing interviews, asking a lot of questions, and then observing. And then the other research, I just looked up a lot of like storage induced furniture and made sure that they were good manufacturers and all that. But I don't know if I should write that. Anyway, material library proposal. Yeah.